Welcome back, sippers, sippets. Today we're gonna discuss a young lady from TikTok that I've been running to a lot of her videos, and she's been going on a journey doing the 75 hard. You may not know what that is, but apparently it is a 75-day mental toughness program requiring strict adherence to 5 daily tasks, following a diet with no alcohol, no cheat meals, completing 2 45-minute workouts, one outdoors, drinking 1 gallon of water, reading 10 pages of nonfiction, and taking a daily progress photo. So I think within those 75 days, you will be doing this. Back to the story at hand, I wanted to review some of the videos that I've been seeing her post and give my analysis. Her name is It's Vicky May. So let's review. Let's go.
Hey, boss, he ain't working.
Leaving the office, and because I got some errands I gotta run, and I was just thinking about because I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues. I understand completely why our teachers, especially in high school, used to always fuss at the student who just didn't try. Like, there is nothing more infuriating than wasted potential. Like, got all the brains, got all the tutelage and all the tools, but just refuses to do the work. Just refuses to rise to the occasion of who they could be. It is the most infuriating thing when you're dealing with someone who has wasted potential.
Why do you think that? There's several reasons. That's why you can't base intelligence and smarts and book smarts that you're gonna automatically be wealthy, be rich. Most of the wealthiest people are not the smartest people, right? Also, my mom always used to say, potential ain't never got nobody anywhere, right? You can look at somebody for potential, but if they don't actually apply it and put it to work, it's meaningless. And then, however, some people just don't care. Some people just don't care. It reminds me of, like, that one person that can quit a job and get another job the next day, but it take you 3 to 4 months to actually get an interview and get a job. But those people, they can just quit within a drop of a dime and have a new job next week. That's how I kind of look at potential. Because yes, they can have any and everything, but at the end of the day, if it's not applied, some people just don't want to grow. And some people don't want to change. And I think in certain instances, that's okay. That's their life. Some of us are going to get it the first time. Some of us are going to get it on the third try, right? None of us are the same. So I think that's where that lies. But let's keep it going.
Like, they could do amazing at whatever's put in front of them, but they're just actively choosing to not try. I will never understand people's mind frame who do that. You got all the tools and all the promise in the world, and you just willingly want to stay stagnant. You're okay with operating at the level that you're at. You're okay with just not living a fulfilled life. You are okay, and I will never understand that. That is literally the most frustrating thing, just dealing with people who have just wasted potential. I know exactly why them teachers used to fuss.
And I think, too, you're going to have to step back. Stay in your lane. Stay in your shoes. Why are you so worried about, as an adult? I get a teacher. I get a parent. But as an adult, why are you frustrated? The only explanation for you to be frustrated is because they wow you. You are very impressed with that person, but they don't obviously care. So why do you care? Stop attaching yourself to the mindset of what somebody could be versus who they are. But that's my opinion. Hey, but hey, let's keep it going.
So, as you can see, today is a bit of a down day. I believe this is day 10 of 75 hard. And if you don't know what the 75 hard challenge is or what sparked it, if you're new here, I'm processing a breakup. And for 75 days straight, I'm just going to be pushing myself outside of my comfort zone and just reinventing myself to see where I land in the next 75 days. And I apologize, y'all. I've been crying. Like, I'm gonna try my best not to cry through this video though. Being today 10, I was inspired to kind of pick up or do something I haven't done in a while, and that's put pen to pad. And I haven't wrote for recreation in like some years. And for those of you who know me personally offline, like if you knew me from high school, I used to write stories in middle school and in high school. Used to have a notebook and just write just fiction stories, and people used to just take it from homeroom just to read what I would come up with. And I felt inspired to write today, and I did it as a means to not break contact or to not break no contact with my previous partner. And I'm gonna try my best to not cry. And I titled it "The Letter I'll Never Send." And I'm gonna try my best to get through this.
I'm gonna always say this. I don't believe and nor do I care about anybody that get on the internet crying. You're about to read a letter that you said you would never send. Go heal. Go heal. Go take care of yourself. Go heal. Why are you still, hey, it's on the internet. Everything lives forever. If you don't think that he ain't seen this, then I don't know what to tell you. But come on. This is you're out crying right now. You crying out. You're crying out right now. Hoping that, I don't want to break contact, but I hope he sees this. Come on. Who are you fooling? Other than the people in your comments, who are you fooling? It goes back to the first video. You need to be locked in and worried about yourself. Because if you really want him, go get your man. But sitting in front of the camera, crying and about to confess your heart to the whole world, but it's a letter that you're never going to send. Come on, man. Y'all make it make sense. Let's go.
I loved you. Still do. And that's the part that aches. The kind of ache that hums quietly under the ribs. The kind that reminds you that love is still alive, even when the story is paused. I love you enough to leave, even when every cell of me wants to stay. I loved you enough to become my own rescue. And maybe that's what real love is, not possession, but release. I remember one evening, clear as scripture, you just come home from work, unwinding the day from your shoulders, and I watched you in that golden hush of twilight. You didn't see me at first. I just sat there, whispering a thank you to God for allowing me to love you. For the sacred ordinary of it all. You, tired but safe. Me, wide-eyed with reverence or with reverence. When you finally caught my stare, you laughed. That easy laugh that made me believe we could build a universe out of kitchen light and shared silence. You said you loved how my eyes lit up when I looked at you, but you didn't know they were reflecting the light I saw in you. But later, your eyes dimmed. You said there was a disconnect. Maybe the disconnect was never between us, but between you and the version of yourself you were afraid to face. You began to retreat into the shadows you never named, and I realized your silence wasn't absence, it was avoidance. I love you enough to not hate you. Even now, love still lives here, but it lives quietly now, like a candle I've learned not to hold too close. Loving you was biblical. Jesus loved us so deeply he had to leave, not because the world was unworthy, but because his mission was complete. And maybe that's what this was, my exodus from us, my surrender to something holier than heartbreak. Because love, real love, is an action, a mirror, and a reckoning. It demands we look at ourselves in the face and repair the cracks instead of breaking the glass. But you chose to shatter the reflection, to bury the shards before you could see your own light. You carry pride like armor and call it safety. But what you never realize is a prison. And I came not to chain you, but to show you were never meant to fear the dark. To show you the boogeyman you hid from was only a boy still waiting to be loved properly. But love, when true, must sometimes walk away. Because loving you almost cost me. And I've learned not to crucify myself for someone who refuses resurrection. So this is my gospel of goodbye. I love you enough to leave. I love you enough to bless you from afar. And I love me enough to begin again. Signed, a woman who saw your light even when you couldn't.
I say it like this. You made a whole story for this man to never see, but he's seen. That's one. Then you turn around and you pretty much, in your own little way, is trying to chastise him and check him. You pretty much telling him that you'll never change. You need to grow up. My light is too bright to be holding on to your darkness. Blase, blase. I don't even want to really get off into the whole spiel, but I hope y'all get my point. Like, come on. You just was literally in that letter, you berating him on so many levels. But you just had to get that off your chest, right? You just had to get that off your chest. Like, come on. You need to be focusing on yourself and your journey and your healing. Now, I would have applied it if you was sticking to you in that letter. Because ain't nobody perfect and ain't no one's relationship perfect. But you need to learn how to remove yourself from the situation. We ain't talking about his demons. We see yours right here on the screen. Get yourself together first. Work through your process. But writing a letter to him, berating him, and writing it as if he would never get the letter, but you put it on the internet and you're crying on the internet, I think it's foolish as hell. But that's my opinion. Hey, sippers, sippets, y'all leave y'all comment down in the comments and let me know what's y'all favorite drink. What y'all drinking today? It don't necessarily have to be alcohol. It can be water, some type of juice, coffee, tea. Y'all let me know what y'all drinking today. But anywho, let's move on.
So I was having a conversation with one of my mentors, and we were talking about, law school, the trajectory of what I'm looking forward to in my law journey or law school journey, just career as a whole. And he made a comment and asked about my personal life, and I kind of let him in on what was happening. And because I think, what is this, day 13 of 75 hard? Yeah, day 13 to 75 hard. And he made the comment, or a comment, that shocked me to my core. And he said, Victoria, one thing I know about you, and I have learned from working with you, is that you are diligent in your pursuit. From your career, the way you're headstrong, you take on tasks like nobody's business. You're a leader to the core. And low-key, I almost felt like I ain't spoke to my therapist yet, but I'm gonna have to tell her what he told me, because it just paused me. He was just like, one thing, and I was kind of giving him the spill of kind of like what happened. He was just like, a lot of people don't forget that from the outside looking in, you could tell how much someone loves themselves by the partner they choose. And I was just like, what you mean? He was just like, because him and his wife, they've been together for years, got 3 kids, whole host of things. He was just like, I tell, like, when I look at partners and when I look at people in relationships, his ideology is he doesn't look how compatible they are on the outside. He looks at their dynamic and how they interact. If he knows them personally, he was just like, I don't care about how good someone looks or anything like that. He was like, I could tell how much someone loves themselves by the partner they chose. And he was just like, Victoria, only you get to decide whether that's a compliment or an insult. When you ask yourself the hard question, how much do you love yourself? By the partner you chose. Yeah.
And hey, he was speaking facts. I mean, the saying is, you are what you eat. The saying still applies. You are what you attract. So I feel like it's no conspiracy when you see people that, the people that look like their pets, or the people that start looking like each other, the couples. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are what you attract. Like, so if you trash, you gonna get trash. If you are 403, most likely you're gonna get a 403. What he told her was straight on point. And as I'm reviewing a lot of her videos, I think one thing that she needs to do is don't get in a relationship. Focus on your healing. Probably need to get off the internet and stay locked in on the word of God. Stay locked in at church or something, or do something. Stay productive. I'm not saying be a zombie and be super repetitive. I'm just saying, and I'm not even saying don't go out, don't live life or enjoy life. I'm just saying her main focus should be her. It sounds like that she been putting all her focus onto a relationship, onto somebody else, and not taking care of yourself. And I think at the end of the day, a lot of people, in my opinion, don't even know how to do both. They don't know how to, stay the course in a relationship, but also continue growing themselves. It seems like more and more I'm seeing people just break off relationships, leave relationships, mostly women. And I believe it's because their mental toughness, they lack mental toughness, in my opinion. You can stay on a job for years, and endure. But in a relationship, you just crumble. You just fall to the wayside. And I believe that's because you don't know how to do both. You can't work on yourself but still stay connected to a relationship. You can't do both. You can multitask and everything else, but you can't do that in your relationship. I think that's the bigger issue, and I think that is what's reflected in this young lady in her videos. And I see a lot of women doing this. So y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'm gonna also put her TikTok link in the description. I'm out.